Welcome to We Fix Games. I'm your host, Jerica.
I'm your other host, Laura.
And today we have a special guest with us. It's my bestie, Janeil.
Hi.
Janeil is here to talk about... What are we here to talk about, Janeil?
Portal 2.
Portal 2. 2 episodes ago, we talked about the original Portal, in which we speculated that maybe the whole thing was a simulation, and or the main character was leaving notes for herself and getting mind wiped. Today, we're going to find out the truth about Aperture Labs and more.
Oh, interesting.
I just want to start off by saying that theory is amazing. Absolutely love
Yay.
it. And I've heard all sorts of theories about Portal 1 versus Portal 2 in my years of playing this game. And that is among my favorites. Honestly, that is really great.
Yay.
So, if you remember, in the end of Portal, you are dragged back into the building by some unknown entity, and then we get a song from GLaDOS about how she's still alive. In Portal 2, we start out with waking up in what appears to be a kind of cheap Miami hotel.
That's almost how Portal 1 started.
No, Portal 1 started where you're in a glass room and you come out of a pod.
Yeah, but it's waking up. Like, he woke up.
Oh, that's true. That is true. So you wake up, and there's like a little alarm thingy that says, it's time to do your exercises or whatever.
Right as soon as I wake up?
Yeah, no, so because the idea is that I guess in Aperture, the test subjects are like asleep for periods of time when they're not being used. But they need to exercise them so they don't atrophy, I guess. Anyway,
That sounds so messed up.
well, yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Extended relaxation and suspension, they called it.
Yes.
it's so relaxing.
Your long sleep.
But so in order to like exercise your muscles, they have you look up and then look down. And then that's the extent of your exercise.
Oh, okay.
And then they make you go to a painting, and they're like, look at this painting. This is art.
Is it actually art?
I mean, it's a painting.
Does the painting look good though? Did you enjoy it? Or did you go, and have like a little minus sign above your head?
It's a lovely little scene of a woodland cabin upon a lake with some foresty hills in the background.
Okay,
And
yeah.
daytime, it's quite pleasant.
Yeah, okay, I like it. My question for you is that did you just automatically do what the voice told you to do on the first time around, or was this like after something happened?
No, like this is
This is how the game opens.
yep, this
That
is my
is-
first this is the actual footage of my actual first time playing this game.
Okay, so here's how we could tell the difference between you and I playing games is that after the first game, that made me so angry and I'm so rebellious and don't like to be told what to do. I really wanted you to not listen to him and do the opposite. I wanted him to look down on the floor when he said to look up because fuck him, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Janeil, you want to say something so bad. What is it?
No, I mean, we'll get to it later, but there's
Okay.
there's reasons why she's in here and why she's awake after what happened after the last game. We'll get into that later because there's more than just this game. There's other media out there that tells you a little bit more about what's going on,
Ooh.
Dun
especially
dun
happening
dun.
before the first game and between the first game and the second game, and it's really good.
Did you watch it between the first and second game, or did you watch it after?
The other media?
Yeah.
The other media, I read it.
Oh.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Wait,
it's
is there a
meta.
visual,
fucking
it's
novel?
written, it's a comic, that,
Okay.
Valve released as a promotion for Portal 2, I believe. Um,
Ooh.
but they released something between, I can't remember the exact date, between Portal 1 and 2, because they probably didn't anticipate the success the first game brought. So they released that comic to kind of explain some things, including the writings on the wall.
Ooh,
I
yes,
would,
I want. Yes, that's what I want.
yeah. But again, we'll get to that when the
Yeah, we're
time
getting a
comes.
bit
Mhm.
ahead of ourselves.
Yes,
I
we'll
always
get
So-
get
to
a bit
that
ahead of
later.
myself.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they have you do a gymnastic portion, which is looking up and down. Then they make you stare at some art so that you're intellectually stimulated, and then they tell you to go back to bed. And
Yes,
I was
yay,
like,
yay.
I don't
He's
want to
so
go back to
sleepy.
bed. What the fuck? I want to explore this cheap ass Miami motel, and there's nothing for me to explore. All the doors, I can't open any of the doors. I can't look out the window. I'm like, well, fuck this.
All of your games have fucking motels. Mr. Furry had a motel.
No, that was his apartment.
I think it was a motel. It was shaped exactly like
Well,
a motel.
I mean, it was a little. I mean, I would go hotel over
I
motel
think
on that one.
I think motel because he spent all of his money on his computers so that he could have the real men in his apartment.
We are not talking about Mr. Furry. We have talked about that the requisite amount of time
I highly
that game
recommend
deserves.
for you to go back and listen to Mr. Furry, Hot Muscles. It's like episode 3 on our episode list, and it's beautiful and wonderful, and you'll learn how to drink sticky milk.
Listeners, if you've already listened to it, you've done your time.
It's
Thank
true.
you.
Yes,
Please
actually, thank
do
you very
not
much.
do not listen to it more than once. and do not ever play that game.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Just from
You're
looking
gonna
at the
sound
footage of it.
traumatized.
I am fucking traumatized. That game fucked me up. I had fucking Ted Lasso like jump scared thrown at me for no fucking reason.
Ted Lasso shouldn't be used in that way.
Well, anyway,
Yeah,
back to
anyway,
Portal.
Portal.
So, yeah, then you go back to bed, and it's like, okay, cool. This is a great game.
Because you're sleepy.
The next thing that happens is you wake up and fucking everything is going to shit.
It's not how I want to wake up.
No. So you wake up and the same voice says, "Oh, good morning. You've been in suspension for 9. So you have no idea how long you've been asleep."
I
But
feel
you
like
wake
it's
up.
9 years.
Yes, Janiel?
No, I was gonna say the painting did change. I actually noticed that one time when I played it, but now seeing it in front of me, instead of being a sunny day, it is nighttime.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Interesting.
that is interesting.
Huh.
But this whole motel looks like it's been abandoned for fucking a century. Everything
9
is
years.
everything is like gross and like falling apart, and you hear a knocking. And so, I mean, I guess what else are you gonna do but open the door?
I have such violent thoughts all the time.
Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna talk about this because I didn't notice that till just now. When you look back at the bed after you get up, you can still see the impression of your body. So that implies that you've been in that bed
Yeah.
a fucking long time.
Yeah.
And I can say right now, there is no known time for how long Chell was sleeping there.
What?
Yeah, a long time, but indiscernible.
Yeah. So you hear this British dude's voice, and he's like, "Hello, open the door." So you open the door, and you see this little sphere with this like blue eye, and he looks a lot like what the fuck are those called, Janeil? The
Personality cores.
personality cores that fell off with GLaDOS in the first game when you were fighting her.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Krayak from Animorphs, but with a blue eye instead of a red eye. That's the enemy of the Elemist. Well, have a nice Jericho.
So, yeah, he comes in. He's like, "Oh, hi, hey, you're looking, So he's like, "Oh, you're looking, oh, fine, yeah, you're looking fine, whatever." and and then the voice says, "Oh, prepare for emergency, whatever, whatever." And this little orb guy is on this like rail, and he's like, "Yeah, blah blah blah. I'm gonna get you out of here. Just hold on to something." And he goes up into the ceiling. There's a little door that opens, and he goes up into the ceiling. So at this point, I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then what happens is the whole room starts to kind of fucking move, and you hear like this. It sounds like a truck.
Where are we going?
So what happens is you feel the room shake, and you hear this noise that sounds like it's some heavy machinery, and then this little orb comes back down, and he's like, "Oh, okay. You've been asleep for a really long time, and it's we've know that like test subjects that have been asleep for this long might have just a little little tiny case of serious brain damage." And he's like, "But don't be alarmed. Um, but don't be alarmed. But if you
I
are
mean, if
alarmed,
it's
kind of,
only little,
yeah." He's
what
like,
is there to be alarmed about?
"Yeah, like don't be alarmed." He's like, "If you are alarmed, hold on to that feeling because that's the proper reaction to being told you have brain damage." And I fucking love it. And so he's like, "Okay, let's just, and like you can't talk in this game, right? You couldn't talk in Portal 1. You can't talk in this game, but in this game, that becomes more of a thing, right? Like." So he's just like, "Do you understand what I'm saying? Just say anything. Like, do you just okay? If you understand, like, nod your head, right?" And so it tells you to hit the space bar to nod or whatever. What was
To
it?
speak. He wanted
To
you to say
speak.
you're doing
Yeah,
okay.
just okay. So yeah, so it says space bar to speak. So you press the space bar, and you jump because that's what that button fucking does. And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's a jump. Um, say Apple," and then it comes on the screen space bar to say Apple, and so you press the space bar and you fucking jump again. And he's like, "Okay, good enough." Which
It's
is
just a little bit of brain damage.
yeah, like it's funny because you're like you like from playing the first game, you know that the space bar is jump, and you're like, okay, I mean it could be any other button. And then so I was like, okay, all right, maybe this will let me speak in this game. And like, nope. I'm like, okay, I see what's going on. So Janelle, what happens after this?
So this room you're seeing here is called the Extended Relaxation Vault, or one of many. So in this, like basically the scene after this, what we were just talking about, it becomes apparent that you are one of many, many, many people here, as it was kind of indicated in the first game. Um, but what they do with these test subjects when they're being put into storage effectively, they put them in these boxes in this an extended relaxation center, and they can move them around. So what happens is you're moved. You're basically your big box that you're in is moved, and you can see the rest of the facility that's all broken down and destroyed. With many, many, many of these like almost like containers, shipping containers that presumably have rooms inside them just like yours, but they're in various stages of decay. And you can see beyond all these stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of these containers, just what you presume to be miles and miles of facility, which Aperture is very, very large. And again, this is all underground.
Oh.
This is all like because it's kind of indicated from the last game when you exploded GLaDOS, you're basically above ground for at least a little bit of time. But yeah, you can just see endless stacks of these containers. Um, and did you want me to go into what Wheatley was talking, or like what our little blue friend was?
Sure, whatever you want to
Yeah.
say.
So apparently there's 10,000 other test subjects here. At least
Okay. That's a lot. Oh,
yeah,
never mind.
and this little blue friend says he has been in charge of all these 10,000 people, and the extended relaxation center, the power being run out from the events of the first game because he blew up the only thing that was maintaining the facility. Basically, it shut down and stopped waking up all the test subjects. So
Wait,
they're
are
all
these the
effectively
same
comatose.
characters?
What's that?
Are these the same characters from the
Um,
first and second game?
Shell is, yeah, like your player character is the
Okay.
same. So yeah, she was dragged back into the facility by the party escort bot, as it mentioned in the first game. But yeah, she's basically being dragged through this whole big center, showing you that like, yeah, you're definitely one of 10,000 other people here. But for some reason, this little dude wants to save you, being apparently the only survivor. For some reason that we'll get into later. There is a reason that you're the only survivor. But yeah, basically instead of being locked in what you thought was a hotel room, just kept in a little storage cube.
But it's fine because they give you exercises and art.
Oh yeah, every 50 so days, I guess. That's what's
Yeah.
apparent from that first announcer dialogue. But
Mhm.
again, it wasn't very apparent how long Chell was sleeping for when she woke up again.
Yeah.
But obviously long enough that everything has decayed to the point where you can see some of those boxes in the background are just like decayed to their frames.
Uh,
Um, so it's been such a long time that the entire facility is just in a very, very, very bad state of disrepair and decay. Um, yeah,
So,
Everything is fine.
everything's fine.
so as your little room is being moved around and falling apart, um, your little friend is like, "Oh, hey, this looks like that. This looks like there's a docking zone. What is it? Hold on,
The docking station. Yeah.
docking station. I'm gonna try and dock."
A docking station for what?
So
Laura, Laura, what? Looking at the screen, what does
Mhm.
that say?
Oh, let me blow it up. Docking station 600.
And what is there underneath where it says docking station?
An arrow
And where is that arrow pointing?
at 600.
Yeah. So if you saw a sign like that
Oh no.
that said docking station with an arrow pointing down and then 600,
Oh, is it 600 levels down?
well, we don't know because our little friend doesn't realize that it is telling you, oh yeah, the docking station is 600 whatever below us.
600
And,
feet.
yeah, and so he's thinking, oh, this is the docking station, this fucking wall with these letters on it. And so he's like, oh, I'm gonna try and dock. And so he just fucking rams your room into it. He's like, oh, we're having trouble docking. I'm gonna try, let me try this other method. And he just like blows through the fucking wall.
A manual override.
Oh, manual override, yeah.
We're not with the cleverest guide here.
We are definitely not. And as you might imagine, if you take a suspended room and you smash it into stuff, it may get destroyed and fall apart.
Busted.
And that's what happens is that you fall and you end up,
Now I see why everyone else died.
yeah, basically like, oh, okay, well, I'll meet you ahead. Just do your best. As fucking traverse the rest, like, to get out of here. You're on your own, essentially.
Okay, bye.
He does mention he does mention that the place where he was docking is an old testing track, and you look for a device that makes holes. That's the only really tips he gives you.
Like, oh yeah,
Oh.
you're looking for a device that makes holes, like not bullet holes, but like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you'll see.
Okay, he's being obtuse for no reason. I he he's on this like track thing, so can he not go with us? There's like a
Nope,
track on the ceiling.
he can
Not
only go where
currently.
the track is.
That's kind of
So
disappointing. I wish he was just a floating sphere because I want him to come with me.
so you continue on and you end up falling through the glass roof. You end up in a very familiar area.
With the cake.
No, not with the cake. You end up in the same glass room you woke up in the first game, except it is
Unfucking-believable.
way old and like overgrown with like plants and shit.
It's the same first chambers too, so it's kind of neat to see. Like in the first game, it was all like this very sterile, clean, white-walled environment, and now you're in these same familiar chambers, but it's all degraded, overtaken by nature. Still semi-functional. Um, but the one thing you notice in that first test chamber that you wake up in the first game, you had what was it, a minute? I think it was a minute to be in this room before the portals opened. But those clocks are now flashing like the power's been out.
Ugh.
There's a radio in there that's not playing. It's just very dead and broken, which is a cool vibe. Basically, everything was kind of left to rot after you took out GLaDOS from the first game.
I like that. And I like that GLaDOS is dead, which I assume is still true.
I mean, I guess we'll find out. So so you basically have to you get this announcer voice that's like, oh yeah, like welcome to the testing. Um but like this announcer like knows the somewhat about the situation, like, oh, even though there seems to be a like apocalypse or fucking, something has gone horribly wrong, but don't
Just
worry.
an
But
apocalypse.
but don't worry, testing is unaffected.
I was so worried about that because I love the testing as I showed in the first game.
So, like, the portal opens and you go through it and you go through the same, like, the very same 0-0 room where you have to put the block on the button. And the announcer's like, "Oh yeah, button and block testing is the cornerstone of of scientific research or some shit."
Is it?
He also mentions if the cube and button-based testing caused the apocalypse. He said, "Oh, don't worry. The chances of that happening again are very slim."
I mean, that's fair. If the apocalypse happened one time, how can it happen another time? So I think we're safe now.
Maybe. But so you start going through some of the same tests you did in the first portal. However, things are like fucking decayed and there's like overgrown.
But it's good to know that, like, since the first game, these are the first few chambers with some minor changes. The was it the second one that had the orange randomly show up, so you had to go to different rooms? There's of this chamber in this game, this Portal 2, it had where you can just go up and press a button to activate the portals for these little chambers. So it's relatively the same first handful of rooms. So like if you played the first game, you knew how to go through this whole segment, and just a different end of the world aesthetic.
Is that fun doing it again?
It's interesting because everything is so broken. Like you're basically saying, like played it, going like nostalgia. It's like, oh, I know what room this is, but like
Okay.
seeing it from the aspect of it being completely destroyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're basically going through these first few chambers as Jericho mentioned, like 002. And as far as it being like, how is it compared to the first game? Like maybe your first time playing, it's like, okay, yeah, I know how to do this. There has to be something new here. Which there is a lot of new things that come up, but like for the first, maybe 10 minutes of the game, it's kind of like the same puzzles that you're used to, but then things start to literally fall apart.
Ugh.
Um, so
I can see that being fun, especially if like you played the first game and then you had to wait for the second game to come out. Whereas like if you play it now, you're going straight into the second
yeah,
game.
Okay, so I don't know if you could do this in the last game, but you can zoom.
that is
Ooh.
new.
So
Oh.
it comes in handy later on.
Are
So
you supposed to have robot legs?
let's talk about this. So this is our protagonist. This is the character we play. This is Chell. Now, in the first game, you would not know that that is your name unless you had the subtitles on.
So I would have known because I always play with subtitles on.
And I mean, you wouldn't even know that that's GLaDOS was her name either.
Or if you read the comic.
Arr.
All right. Anyway, so as you can see, she has her in the same orange jumpsuit that Laura hated. However,
I don't remember
she
hating
has
it.
she has like taken off the top part and like so that she's in a tank top and it looks a lot hotter.
Yes, it's similar to what Captain Janeway did in Star Trek Voyager when all of the infectious things were killing her ship as she had to take the top of her outfit off, and it looked very nice as she had the big gun to kill all of the gross parasite things. I don't remember what they're called. I'm a fake fucking fan.
What is it about this series that elicits Star Trek from you?
I just told you because she takes the fucking top off of her uniform.
Sci-fi vibes.
All right. Anyway,
Also,
so
Jerica, I'm always thinking of Star Trek Voyager.
I watched Star Trek Voyager when it was airing live in like
Mhm.
1998.
Wrong. It aired in 1995, January of 1995. And you know when I was born? October of 1994. So guess who else also watched it as it was airing? Except, like, it grew up with me like a little baby.
Thank you for reminding me how fucking old I am.
No, that was to point out how close and dear it is to my heart.
Well, we're just gonna cut all of that out.
I'm no fucking way. The
Anyway,
people have to know about Star Trek Voyager. Okay, what's going on with Chell, who's
so
also a
I'm
character in Star
doing
Trek
the thing
Voyager?
where I'm pointing at the screen and no one can see.
They can see in their hearts.
Okay, well, oh wait, here you can see that. So she's got you can see better in this game than you could in the last game. Um. Oh, by the way, the only way we're seeing her is because we're looking through the portal. Like, because
I
you can
assumed.
the portals can arrange itself, so you can like look through and see your set. You know, we discussed that. She's wearing these really cool boots, these white boots that got like this, like as Laura said, like some sort of jumping boots.
Oh, I thought that she was turning into a cyborg.
No.
Damn.
So Janeil, what are these boots called?
Those are the Aperture Long Fall Boots. They developed those
Ooh.
for the test subjects exclusively because they were having issues when they first made the portal gun. You can use momentum to basically teleport yourself and fly really fast to the portals to get to higher places and such, which is a mechanic in both these games. However, they had an issue with test subjects falling to their death. So what they did is they made the long fall boots so they can save themselves and land on their feet every time safely, no matter what height you fall from. So this is not a game in either of these games where you take fall damage. You can essentially fall sometimes miles and land on your feet safely without taking any damage, essentially.
That's beautiful.
In the first game, there were more just like braces on her legs. In this game, they are full boots that cover her feet and like almost knee high.
Oh, so wait. Okay, was this the same in the first game then, and they just look different?
I think they just look different. I mean, there are some aesthetic changes between the first and second game. So I'm thinking again, when they first released Portal 1, they didn't anticipate the success it had, so maybe they didn't anticipate a sequel. But the graphics are, just looking at it, are much more improved over the first game. The long fall boots they changed merely because they said, "Oh, we can improve that," like
Mm.
visually, instead of being just stilts stapled to her leg. Essentially, they're actual boots.
I like them, and I like how they look.
You also get fancy new elevators now.
Well, they're not fancy. They're less fancy.
They look better than the first Portal elevators.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
They're see-through now. You can see through as you're going
Yeah,
down.
I guess.
Which is not like Star Trek Voyager.
So this is another thing that's different from the first game, since this game is so much longer. This is a full game compared to Portal 1, which essentially is a demo of this game.
Oh.
There is a loading screen between each chapter and each segment, like between puzzles. And it's the Aperture Laboratories logo. That is not always consistent. It changes, which is pretty cool.
Interesting. Wait, how does it change?
You can disappear things from inside your body.
Which GLaDOS mentioned in the first game that it could on semi-vaporized teeth. So some of the announcer dialogue is similar to what GLaDOS has said in the first game.
Yeah. So, as you can see, this is a very similar, the same rooms, but like there is so much like foliage, overgrown stuff in here, and it even sounds like you get like insect sounds and like bird sounds, so it sounds like you're in a fucking jungle.
I like it.
Oh, one of the things that is really cool about this game is that this elevator, the room that it lands in, before you go up into the testing room, it's got these little screens, and a lot of times it'll tell you like what the test is about or other things. In this case, the announcer is like, oh, in the event that the world is ruled by an animal king, sentient cloud, or some other thing, and then it kind of cuts out. But then it has a little picture of a bunch of the little turrets in this like amphitheater looking thing, or like UN room, and there's this giant like one with a cheetah print and a crown on comes out. And it's and it says service announcement, Animal King takeover.
I love Animal King turret.
Don't know what to do with this thing that I've just seen.
But like, yeah, these little screens like often have little things that are fun little things. So you're going through these old broken down tasks, whatever, and you come to a point where like oops, it's a really broken shit, and your little orb friend, catches up with you a little bit, but you come to this area and where
Are you swimming?
no, I'm just walking through water. So there's this area where there's all these like panels that have fallen down, and there's drawings on them. Like there's drawings of and a lot of them are drawings of you, of Chell. And so that's kind of fucking creepy, right? Like who's
Yeah, I
drawing
don't
these
like that.
pictures of you? And
Maybe Chell is a god.
there's this picture of what looks like the apparatus that GLaDOS is connected to, and a bunch of scientists underneath it. And then there's this picture of like what looks like people dying, and that could be when GLaDOS, flooded the whole place with the deadly neurotoxin.
Our cube friend is here.
Yes, the companion cube.
Yay.
And then there's like a picture of Chell and Cake and GLaDOS, and then this little weird person holding the companion cube.
Better get their fucking hands off my wife.
And it was just like really fucking weird and surreal to see these drawings, because you're like, who the fuck made these drawings?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one that looks like Chell sleeping, and it's like, well, that's fucking creepy. So I got to this point, I'm like, all right, what? And so you continue through these testing rooms, that are just fucking broken down, like the puzzles are nothing spectacular, right? They're nothing that you haven't seen before, okay? Like cubes and shit. So you eventually catch up with your little orb friend, and he is like, "Hey, I can get you out of here, but like, there's no more rail."
Oh, for him to travel on.
So something else I want to point out, this game starts off similar to the first game because the first portal gun you find is the first gun you get in the first game. It's the blue portal gun. It only shoots the one portal. So for the most part of the beginning of the game, you are only putting out one portal at a time in response to where the orange one is. So you have to kind of work yourself around where this orange portal is located. So it's kind of cool that both of the games start off similarly. You wake up in a weird place, you go through the same testing track, you get the same portal gun in the same room. Even though that room fell through and there was a broken place in the bottom where all those drawings were, that is the same room you get your portal gun in the first game. It's just very, very broken down. It's hard to recognize. Anyways, something I wanted to point out. Game development wise, it's really cool how they started both games essentially the same to walk you through the mechanics of the game. Even though if you played the first game, you should already know how to play it. But just in case you've forgotten, the game starts you off and paces you very, very nicely.
Or if you're a fucking crazy person and just jumped right into the second game for some reason.
Yeah.
Never play the sequel without playing the original.
So what happens is, like, yeah, there's no rail. So he's like, okay, well, they told me I would die if I disengaged from my management rail, but we're gonna try it. And he pops off. He's like, catch me, and then like Janeil said, you can't catch him. So now you're holding him, right? Just like you wanted, Laura.
Just like I wanted.
So now you get to carry him
I
around.
ship it.
That's interesting.
Carrying him like a little baby.
So this little guy starts saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. In order to get through, we're gonna have to go through her area, and she'll probably kill us immediately, unless she's asleep." So as we go, we find out. We get to the chamber where we fought GLaDOS last time, and there she is, blown up and broken down, right where we left her. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, like you know who took her down? Like you won't believe this, a human." And no one's seen him since.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know what happened. We know we fucking killed her. But you can go around this like wrecked area. You can see the little incineration tube
Emergency intelligence incinerator.
that we in the last game we tossed the cores down. And he basically tells you like, yeah, that happened, and then nothing happened for a long time, and then we were escaping. So that gives you the timeline of what has happened, like, since the last game. Last game happened, then literally nothing happened. So like everything was shut down, it seems like, and then reactivated for some reason.
No, that doesn't make sense though, because they kept waking me up to stretch. They can't see what you do. You have to have some response to that.
We'll get to that.
Sorry, I forget.
We'll get to that.
So you keep going, and he's like, "Oh, all right, we got to get the breaker for something, but we only want to hit that one." So he's like, "Yeah, look for the switch that says escape pod, and don't touch anything else." And you look up, and there's just this fucking endless like tower above switches just all around this room. It's just like, yeah, look for that one, the escape pod one, but nothing else. Don't touch anything else. And you're like, what the fuck?
This will be easy.
So he tells you to plug him into this little panel. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'll turn the lights on. I'm like, okay. So you do that. And the lights come on. So he's like, it turns, and he's like, oh, it's turning. Oh, okay. Well, it's fine as long as it start turning. Doesn't start going up. Now he's doing something with the computer or whatever, right? He's interfacing like R2D2 does.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fucking platform that you're standing on starts going up, and as it goes up, for whatever reason, the shape of this or whatever just flips all the fucking switches as you go up.
Whoever designed that was very, very smart.
Yeah. Well, at least we probably got the escape pod one,
Yeah, probably. And then we actually come up, and we're right in front of where we saw GLaDOS lying on the ground earlier.
That feels bad. That feels bad.
And then you hear a voice that says, "Power up initiated."
Oh no,
And the
no,
little orb
no.
guy gets real fucking... Okay, well, if you have the subtitles on, it's gonna say his name, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the little orb guy's name is Wheatley.
That's like almost from Flubber.
Sure.
This guy's been reminding me of Flubber this whole time.
Okay. So and then Wheatley's like, oh gosh, and he's trying to stop the power up, and you see the pieces of GLaDOS are starting to like reconnect.
Working on doing all of our hard work.
So GLaDOS powers on, and she looks at you, and she's like, "Oh, it's you."
I think she's turned on by us.
Oh,
Get
well,
it? She's turned on
She's
by
turned
us.
on. Wheatley turned her on by accident.
she got turned on, and she was by us, I guess. So she's awake, and she's like, "Oh, like you're here. Like, how have you been?" And Wheatley's like, "What? You know her?"
That whole scene still gives me chills. She's terrifying, like rightfully terrifying.
Like, "Oh, I've been fine, just being dead because you killed me." And Wheatley's like, "You did what?" And so these two claws come down. One picks you up and one picks Wheatley up. And she's like, "Listen, we both have said some things that you're gonna regret." And then she like fucking like crushes Wheatley and tosses him away.
I do
So
not
I
like
hope
that
you weren't
part.
attached to him because he's gone now.
He didn't come back for the whole game?
And then she's
Fuck
like,
you, Jericho.
and then she's like, yeah. So what did she say?
She basically kind of passively aggressively thanks you for waking her up because you must really enjoy testing. She likes it.
Yeah, she's like, you must really love testing.
Yeah.
And so she with this claw, this like claw machine claw, like you move, and she puts you right above the incinerator chute, and then she's like, "Oh, I love testing too. There's just one thing we've got to take care of first." And the chute opens, and then she drops you in it.
So that's the emergency intelligence incinerator, but thankfully it's not full of. So there's your new loading screen.
This is fine. I have no reason to keep playing the game. That's game over because Weibo, my boyfriend, is gone. Yeah, I guess we have a lot of fixing to do.
Don't give up
Fix
quite
it,
yet,
don't
Laura. Don't give up yet. So you fall all the way down this shaft, like all the way down.
But you got those long fall boots.
So you don't die. It's great.
What's the point of going on?
And she's totally not angry about you killing her. Not at all. All's
My
forgiven.
boyfriend! No!
Yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, you're in the incinerator. Like, be careful not to trip over any parts of me that are still down here that didn't get burned up when you threw them down into the fire." Like, oh, the dual portal gun should be around here somewhere, and then we can continue testing.
And then my boyfriend fell into the fire.
And then Laura's boyfriend fell into the fire. So you get the dual portal gun, and there's a brief like, hey, you can push this button to. It's like, oh yeah, okay, one mouse button does blue, one mouse button does the blue one does the orange one. And so now you are fully prepared to play the rest of this game.
No, I'm not. Maybe you are.
So
God, I want to play this game.
so as you're going, GLaDOS is like talking to you, and she sounds so fucking sinister. And there's like a part where you like can't get up, and she's like, "Here, let me get that for you." And she like moves a panel so you can like portal onto the surface.
I also want to add that if it wasn't apparent in the first game, this game makes it very apparent that she can control every single aspect, except for the back areas where you can sneak around. But these little panels and everything, she controls all that. So she's the one making all these test chambers and moving shit around so you can get through it easier. And I also wanted to bring up again from a game developing standpoint, which is something I really, really, really like. And Portal 2 does it very well. Even better than the first game. It tells you where to go. It tells you where to put the portals and everything. It's pretty obvious what GLaDOS just did here with moving that panel, saying, "Oh, let me get this for you, so you can shoot a portal right here." But in other aspects or other situations in this game, including this scene here, lights start to turn on, and where these lights turn on, it's basically where you're supposed to go. In other places in this game, it gets a little more difficult, but then like you look for little hidden things that the developers put in here purposefully to tell you where to go, to almost like gently hold your hand through this game, but not enough where it's gotta be obvious. Like, oh, we should obviously put a portal here and obviously use it to jump over. But if you know that about this game, you can look around and say, oh, I'm supposed to do this. But it's not so glaringly obvious that a first time player would be like, oh, I need to do this. It's more like, what the hell am I doing here? But then once you realize what you're supposed to do, you can say, oh, I'm supposed to be looking for these little hidden pathways.
And
Brilliant.
I didn't fucking know that until Janeil told me that. I'm like, what? What little thing? And like once I saw it, I'm like, holy shit.
I played the game a little bit while she was over at my place. I mean, I played this game so many times I kind of know what it's chamber, but there's some situations where it's like, oh, where am I supposed to go? And I immediately look for, there's a light here, there's a wooden board here, there's an angled platform right here, so I know I need to use it to jump somewhere. It makes little hints like that. That again, if you're the first time playing this game and they're not super obvious, if they're too obvious, then it would be like railroading and holding your hand and telling you how to play the game. They're hidden enough where you still have to kind of look for a solution to play.
I do like being tricked into thinking that I'm clever. And it sounds like I'm sarcastic when I say that, but actually I do like it in games. I like to feel smart in games.
This is definitely one of those games that'll do that. At least like it's a puzzle game, so it's like once you find the solution, it's like aha. Maybe I'm not so dumb after all. But yeah, I just like from a game developing standpoint that there's things there to essentially save a player from getting too lost.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So eventually she guides you back into the testing track. So you have these lasers that are coming out of emitter, right? And if you touch it, it hurts. But sometimes you have to get it to hit a receptacle. Sort of like how the high energy pellet, you had to get into a receptacle.
Only these thermal discouragement beams don't instantly kill you.
But
Nice.
here you have to like get that beam it's a static beam. You have to get it to where it's gonna go into another place. By using portals, obviously. You portal on the one wall, the laser goes through the portal and out the other one, right? Well, the lasers are a new mechanic. What goes with the lasers, Janeil?
A discouragement redirection cube. It's basically a little cube that is hollow on the inside except for a glass sphere. And this glass sphere allows you to change the direction of the laser. So instead of
Ooh.
using portals to change the direction of the laser and fire it at a receptacle, you can use this cube to angle it at certain targets, which is not exclusive to the receptacle. You can use it to burn things, explode things, do a few different things with it, including accidentally shoot yourself, which I've done numerous times when I first played the game. But yeah, now you have something where it can not block the laser, but change its angle slightly.
So that's one of the new mechanics. Another new mechanic is the hard light bridge. So the hard light bridge is you have this like fucking fluorescent light looking fixture, and it shoots this blue like surface, right? And you can walk on it. It's made out of hard light. But if the other end of the surface gets onto a portable wall, you can put a portal there and somewhere else, and so that bridge will go through the portal and out a different portal, so you can create different bridges.
Oh, okay, I like that. That's cool.
And then you can like catch things like yourself or cubes or stuff by putting the different bridges. Um, sometimes sometimes the emitters are vertical, right? So you can't walk on them, but you can use them to deflect things like turrets or catch things like if a cube is falling and it's gonna fall in acid or whatever, you can put it there so it bounces back off of it. This fucking particular room, I had to call Janeil and be like, help me with this fucking room, I can't figure it out. And then she like takes a quick look at it like, oh yeah, just put it here. And I'm like, motherfucker.
She's played it like a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also like she mentioned, the aspect of the hard light bridge is that you can spend things or catch things. So this puzzle actually shows you how to solve it right away. So you see the cube on top of the light bridge there blocking the laser. The laser goes across into a receptacle that raises and lowers a platform depending on when it's activated. And the button is opening a door. How a lot of button things are for the cubes. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use the bridge to suspend the cube over the button, and then basically get rid of the bridge by shooting your portal somewhere else and having the cube drop down onto the button to open a door and also fire the laser so it raises the platform you're on. So it's kind of clever how it shows you the solution a little bit right when you walk in.
I love how you're like, it just shows it to you and then go on to explain this relatively complicated setup.
It sounds complicated, but like to like describe how this game functions in an audio media is it's difficult.
Yeah, it shows you unless you're fucking stupid like me.
You're stupid. I can't remember the first time I played like how I've done when I first played this game, but I can guarantee you it took me hours to get through the whole game. And in fact, I think anyone playing this game for the first time is going to sit there in some chamber going to be like, "What the hell am I supposed to do here?" And you, if they're anything like me, the first time playing this game, shooting a bunch of random portals until you get it right, and then finally having this aha moment, and realizing, oh, that was the solution this time.
So yeah, so the light bridges and the lasers, you have stuff like this where uh there's these little beacon things, and if you hit it with the laser, it like catches it and like redirects it. Here, I don't know how else to
They don't really redirect the laser. They're just targets for you to the laser into, and you have to activate all of them at once to do a thing.
So yeah, if you get the laser through these little beacon things, that some will open and will activate something. Um, Janeil, would you like to talk about the surprise?
So, something. This is gonna go back to the first game a little bit. Something Gladys mentioned in the first game. She's reading your personnel file, and she says, "Oh, this also says you're adopted, so that's funny too." So Gladys comes back to that in this game. She's like, "Oh, you're adopted. Your parents don't love you," that kind of thing. And then she's like,
I like that.
maybe I should reunite you with people that you haven't seen in a while, a man and a woman that share your last name. So she starts to create the surprise where you're going to meet your parents, your birth parents. And when she initiates the surprise, she leads you into a dark room, and then she flicks the lights on, and then she just says, "Oh, I made it all up." And she showers you with confetti, and she's like, "Come on, that was a great surprise, right? But your parents really didn't like you. You know that,
Ugh.
right? You're adopted. Like they gave you up. So like how would you expect them to even want to see you if they gave you up?" So she's like constantly bringing this back. So that part you heard in that clip where she's like, "Let's give your parents a call right now." Basically she's like, "Oh, I feel awful about, surprise. I'm going to call your parents up right now and see if they want to talk to you." And this is recording that comes up saying the birth parents you're trying to reach do not love you. Please hang up. And she's like, "Oh, that's sad."
He's so
She's awful. She's awful, but like
Mm.
in such a great way. It's funny and yeah.
Yeah, so she really, really, really uh is salty that you killed her.
Yeah.
And
But
she just
killing is
wants
too good for you. She wants to test you in life. Which is there was one quote that was skipped over in the clips. She's like, "Oh, we only have 60 years to test you, more or less. I don't have the tables in." Like, after I'm done, who knows? I might take a hobby, animating the dead. So she's basically saying after you're dead, she's got to bring you back and test you again. Uh,
Don't want that. Don't want
yeah,
that. No, thank you.
yeah. And then she also keeps calling you fat.
What the know
Um
how I feel about all this.
yeah, well, I mean the thing is that Chel's not, but like GLaDOS is a robot, right? Like
Yeah.
she just figures, oh yeah, that's what humans don't like. They don't like being called fat.
she's purposely finding ways to antagonize you and get at you emotionally. But Chel's, emotionally hard, so it's just like she's nothing really seems to get through her. So like Glass is continuously trying to like punish her, essentially torment her, forever.
I don't know. I feel like there are more creative ways they could have come up with
Yeah, I mean
to.
this was what 2012.
11.
Yeah. Um. Well, she also at one point it's like, oh, it says here that that jumpsuit looks terrible on you. It's like, no, that's what it says right here. It was written there by a scientist.
See, that one is funnier.
The result of this test is also you're a horrible person, and that's what it says. You're a terrible person. We weren't even testing for that.
They weren't even testing for that.
So we have the lasers, we have the bridges. What's the other? Oh, the faith plates.
The aerial faith plate. Yep.
So aerial faith plate is basically you step on it and it launches you to a specified
Ooh.
point, right? So you use this to do stuff. Like if you can launch and then put a portal in a place where you can launch the portal and come out of another place. You can catch, sometimes there'll be cubes that get like released and they fall and you gotta like launch and jump up and catch them. Sometimes you can jump from one to another. It's a really interesting element. There's a lot. This game, I would say, this game relies more on your game playing skills than it does your puzzle solving ability.
I don't like that.
And then the last element, the last new element that we're going to talk about right now is, well, we can't.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you go through these tests, and eventually Wheatley comes back,
Yay!
and he's
I
like
love
behind the
him.
scenes, and he's like trying to like find a way to get you escape,
Oh my
whatever.
god, he's doing
And
it
he
for me.
and he finally does as you're about to go into like one of the final tests, and you get to run away through the the
The back area is like the
back
first thing.
area of the facility, right? I was gonna say bowels, but you yelled at me last time.
Yeah, I don't like to hear that either.
So
I'm
you're
gonna
running
cut
away,
that
right?
out so I don't have to hear it again.
So you've got Wheatley, and you're running away. How dare you?
What?
And you're running away, and eventually you catch up. You're running away from GLaDOS, and GLaDOS like sort of just like lets you go.
Well, she
Oh.
knows you can't escape. Like, you're going to be tested to death by her or going to die somewhere in the walls.
So you're running away, and eventually she catches you in one of those glass rooms. And so now you go ahead, Janeil.
You're not going to talk about the adventures with Wheatley?
My favorite part.
Oh,
It's kind of important.
okay. Well, you talk about the adventures with Wheatley
Okay.
then.
So Wheatley has this grand master plan to take down GLaDOS. He wants to shut down her turrets and her neurotoxin. Basically, the things she used to try to kill you in the first game. So it makes sense, right? Yeah, let's do it. So first thing you have to do is you have to go shut down the turret line, which you find is essentially a turret factory inside the aperture. Sure, there's one there. The way you shut down the turret line is that basically it's testing defective turrets and good turrets. So it's sorting out on basically a sorting line. So you take one of those defective turrets and put it into a scanner that's being used to essentially it was before you messed with it, it was scanning a template turret, which is a master turret that's good, to compare it with turrets that are coming down the inspection line. So if you put a defective turret in the master place, it starts basically making all defective turrets. So good, you fixed that problem. And the defective turrets don't shoot bullets at all; they're harmless, and they often explode when they try when they try to function. So
Yeah, I like that.
so after you do that, Wheatley takes you to the neurotoxin generator, which is this big, enormous, tubular thing inside a big cavernous room.
It's like cool. You said it's tubular.
Tubular.
So it's like really
It's-
cool.
It made me think, why does this place need to be making this much neurotoxin? Like, it's giant.
I never wonder that.
It's the
Oh.
size of like a skyscraper. So you go into this control room where you can use your pearl gun to redirect a laser that's cutting some panels for the testing chambers. So you go from one room to the other room where the neurotoxin generator is. You fire a laser at these tubes that are connecting it. You sever it. The whole thing implodes, which obviously somebody worked really hard for because they tell you to look at the implosion if it implodes. You eventually meet up with Wheatley, and you get sucked through this tube that is supposedly going to lead right to GLaDOS. And it leads to what Jerica was starting off to describe, meeting back up with the lady in charge.
Yeah, you get trapped, and
Wait a minute. Wait, he traps you?
no, he gets sucked down a different
Oh.
tube, and you go down, and you get trapped by GLaDOS.
Okay, so it's not him that betrayed you, though.
No.
Okay.
So, but basically, so then he's doing something. Bottom line, there is, for some reason, there is this panel, and there's this thing called a core replacement.
A whore replacement?
Core.
So it is calling you a whore?
No. Core. C-O-R-E.
Like personality core.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you can put Wheatley in this thing, to try and swap out him and GLaDOS.
Oh.
And so the announcer's like, "Oh, like, core number 1, are you ready to go for this?" And he's like, "Yes." And core number 2 is like, "Are you ready?" And GLaDOS is like, "No." And the announcer's like, "Oh, stalemate detected."
Wait, because I voted for do it, so that fixed the stalemate. So go ahead and do it.
Well, it's funny you say that because there is a stalemate resolution button. So basically, you run to try and hit this button, and GLaDOS is trying to stop you. It's like, "You're not," she's like, "You're not an authorized stalemate
associate.
yeah, resolution associate." So you push the button, and that breaks the stalemate, and this thing comes up, and it fucking tears GLaDOS's head off,
Yes.
and it puts Wheatley's head on there.
Wheatley, don't turn evil, please.
Well, see, you only said that
No.
because you knew what was gonna happen.
I don't. How the fuck would I know what's gonna happen? I haven't played this game.
Yeah, but deep down you knew.
No.
It's the stereotypical going mad with power.
No, we can turn him good again.
Well, so during all of this, we find out what exactly Wheatley is. Because GLaDOS is like, "Oh, I know what you are now."
Beautiful.
He was in intelligence dampening core. She was too smart, so they came up with this core to... that sole purpose of this core was to be as dumb as shit to, like, make her less intelligent.
Holy fuck.
So he was
Chell
designed to be an idiot.
fell for the dumbass, huh?
You're
Yeah,
the moron they built to make me an idiot.
is what she
So
says.
I don't think you can be evil if you're an idiot. Then you're just misguided.
Well, here's the
and
thing. He's too dumb to understand what to do with all the power he now has. And he kind of goes crazy. And he takes GLaDOS and puts her into a potato.
What?
So
That's
there's something that
beautiful.
I kind of missed during the Adventures of Wheatley explanation. The two main things were shutting down and the neurotoxin, but in between the two, you pass by what looks like a daycare that's in the
What
center.
the fuck?
And you go past a bunch of boards that basically say bring your daughter to work day, and Wheatley says, "Oh, bring your daughter to work day." It didn't really end well. So you go through this little like kid scientific fair, like science fair kind of display where all these kids made potato batteries. And there's a bunch of these potato batteries sitting there, and basically turning GLaDOS into a potato battery is kind of like a callback to that.
Why didn't he just fucking kill the bitch?
So, yeah, so he puts her into a potato. And then
And I eat her.
Then he drops both of you into this, like, far, far below. Miles.
Not
Miles.
intentionally.
Well,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but he's dumb, so.
Yeah.
And then while you're falling, GLaDOS is like, what did she say?
How are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
And then she's like, "Oh, my slow clap programming is still there."
She's like making a slow clap noise, like, "Congratulations, you dumbass."
I think that this situation is still better than when she was in charge.
She's a
Well,
potato now.
yeah, she's a potato. Until a bird comes and, like, picks her up and takes her away.
Okay, bye.
So
Bye, bitch.
you fall miles and miles underground.
But you
And
survive because of your long fall boots.
yep.
See, everything is perfect. You acted like it was bad, but everything is fine now.
Yeah, GLaDOS was like, "Oh, can you just take one of those boots off and put me in it?"
Why don't I just cup her in my hands?
and she's just like, "Oh yeah, and just remember to land on one leg."
Bleh.
But anyway, so the bird takes GLaDOS off, and now you are miles underground. And this is
Wait,
where...
okay, hold the fuck up. Because how did a bird take her away miles underground?
Well, that's a good question.
Just birds living down there now.
Okay.
So now So this game is very different in the sense that like the first game was like puzzles and then a little bit of like exploration and boss fight. Here it's like puzzle exploration, puzzles exploration, and now down here is mainly exploration. Down here is Janeil. Janeil, tell the listeners what is down here.
Old Aperture, the original Aperture. That
Oh,
was developed back in the 50s by Mr. Cave Johnson.
Incoming lore dump. Incoming lore dump.
Yes, yes. So this is my favorite part of this game. I absolutely love talking about it because this is where all the lore comes from as far as Portal's concerned. So Cave Johnson is the founder and owner of Aperture Science back in the 50s, the 1950s. And he bought out a salt mine in Upper Michigan to make his facility, the original Aperture facility. And he did so with his assistant Carolyn, which is a young woman that he, is basically his associate, his assistant. Originally, Cave Johnson, and this is all indicated by signs and newspaper articles you can read. He originally started Aperture as a curtain sales place, I guess, because there's a
Why
trophy,
did he-
trophy case saying he won like an award for shower curtain salesman, but it still said Aperture on it. And somehow, in a span, I think it was like 10 years or something like that, maybe less, he went to working on scientific discoveries. So he needed a facility to do all this stuff. So he bought a salt mine and started making Aperture Science in the bottom of this salt mine, miles underground in Upper Michigan, as it said.
like the peninsula?
It doesn't say exactly where. It says Upper Michigan. From the news articles in this trophy case that you can read, a lot of the text is super small and grainy. You can't read it out, but you can read the headline. And it's saying like, Aperture Science is like leading scientific discoveries, competing with Black Mesa. I'm not going to go into Black Mesa so much because it is part of the Half-Life series, and I don't want to talk about Black Mesa so much because it might be a topic of discussion for another one of your guys' episodes. But Black Mesa and Aperture Science are competing scientific, essentially. They share the same universe. So down in Old Aperture is essentially the original testing facility. They have testing spheres instead of the testing chambers. They had the quantum tunneling device, which is the original portal gun, which is this big backpack-looking thing, and it was ridiculous. But it was like the first version of the gun you're carrying around for this game. And you go through these old chambers, which are very, very broken up and hardly running, but running enough where you can solve these tests. And all the while, you have these pre-recorded messages from Cave Johnson, J.K. Simmons.
Oh!
Yes. Making all these announcements, these pre-recorded messages that you trigger as you go through this facility that's taking place from the 50s and 60s era. And originally, Aperture Science was there to test human test subjects to further advance scientific discoveries. And these original test subjects were astronauts and Olympians, physically and mentally fit people who can run these tests. But as you progress through Old Aperture, you start to hear these pre-recorded messages get a little bit desperate. I believe it's in the 60s and 70s era. Yeah, so they started with the Olympians and NASA astronauts in the and by these pre-recorded messages, it's kind of indicated that they weren't getting enough of these high-quality volunteers for their testing facility. So they started picking homeless people off the street with a promise of $60.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, so $60 back in the 60s or whatever, I mean, that might have been a lot of money, but, like, not enough for the stuff that they were doing to these poor people.
Not enough for incineration.
Yeah, so a lot of these pre-recorded messages were saying, like, "Oh, for an extra $60, we can put some sciencey stuff in you and do some surgery on you and
Oh
put some
no,
equipment in
no.
you," and all this weird stuff.
According to dollar times, $60 in 1960 is equal to $626.01.
Wow, that's actually quite a bit of money.
Yeah, but
Holy crap.
is is it is it enough for experimentation be done on you?
I don't know, for like a mad scientist performing experiments on you. I don't think that's enough money. At least I wouldn't.
No.
Jeez. But like, he was like, "Oh yeah, for an additional $60, we can do all these sciencey things. We'll put a bunch of science stuff in you, or we'll turn your blood into gasoline."
Oh my
Like
god! No,
a
thank
bunch of
you.
terrible stuff. And all the while, like, there's even one message where it says, "Oh, we're responsible for inventing a lot of things that other people have stolen from us." And he's like, "Oh, Black Mesa can kiss my bankrupt ass," essentially.
Bleh.
So,
Sorry, his big rubbed ass?
bankrupt. So, like, basically, it's indicating that Aperture is not doing
He said big rubbed.
bankrupt. I don't talk well.
Uh,
Um,
I don't hear well, so
but it's basically also like very directly hinting at Black Mesa, basically the Half-Life universe sharing the same universe portal. But anyway, so Aperture is struggling, and if you paid attention in the first game, there's a projection on the wall, basically just rolling these screens, this slideshow mentioning competing with Black Mesa and Aperture doing very poorly, basically on the verge of bankruptcy. So there's a lot of these recordings saying, "Oh yeah, we don't have enough money to do certain things, but now we're getting people off the streets to be test subjects and giving them money." And then it's like, "Oh, maybe we don't have the money for that even." So they started shifting to testing employees instead.
Oh
Yeah. You eventually do find GLaDOS again. She's currently being eaten by a bird. Because she's a
no.
potato. She's edible now. So you rescue her from this bird. You team up with her by stabbing her and basically
Why do
impaling
you
her on the tip of your portal gun.
why are we
Um,
teaming up with her?
because she basically says, "Hey, if we don't team up, put me back in charge. That idiot up there is going to destroy the facility." Because
I don't
as
care. He could
discussed,
do whatever he wants.
well, there's a nuclear reactor that runs the facility that's currently in distress. So it's not revealed until later,
I
but she said this is going to melt down and basically cause the whole center to explode
you
if
know
she doesn't
what?
go back in charge.
I just want him to be happy, so if that's what he wants.
If that means blowing the whole facility up and killing us all, then sure.
Yeah.
Well, there we have it.
And we
Laura,
could be ghosts together. It'll be
Ghosts in the
romantic.
Machine.
Oh!
But speaking of humans and AI, so you get GLaDOS back, and for the first time she hears Cave Johnson's voice, and at first she's like, "Oh, who's this? I never heard of this guy." And he mentions something in this pre-recorded message to his associate Carolyn, who is this young woman who's helping him out. And both her and GLaDOS say the same thing together. "Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson." So GLaDOS freaks the hell out
Ugh.
for responding to this man she does not know. And eventually she wakes back up and she's like, "Oh, well, you can find this portrait that's hidden down there." And this portrait is of Cave Johnson and Carolyn together. And they don't look like a coworker and manager relationship, with him sitting down in this chair and this tall, dark-haired woman dressed in white leaning over him.
Like a wedding dress?
Like a business suit, like she's in like a pantsuit kind of deal, from what I can visually remember.
Okay, fine.
But clearly they have more than a coworker relationship. But moving on from that, like GLaDOS says, "Oh, these people in the portrait look very familiar to me," but she doesn't really know who these people are. So you keep going through the underground of Old Aperture, and GLaDOS finally makes a realization. She's like, "Why do I know this woman Carolyn? She's so familiar to me." She's like, "Did I kill her, or oh my god?" And she realizes that she is Carolyn.
Mhm.
So somehow Carolyn is a machine. She's GLaDOS. So you keep going through Old Aperture, making your way up. There's these old testing chambers that you can go on through, and you eventually find like the higher portion of Old Aperture that's in the 70s and 80s era. And you find these pre-recorded messages of a dying Cave Johnson. He's clearly ill in his recordings, and he mentions that he's ill because he bought $70 worth of rocks and ground them up into a gel used to make portal surfaces. and because of inhaling this lunar dust, he is terminally ill. And
What
he
the
also
fuck?
so he mentions that, like, he wants to continue testing the employees because they're in-house, essentially, they're readily available. But then he also
Okay.
says, "Oh, employee retention has gone way downhill
Wow,
for
that's
some
so
reason."
weird.
Yeah, so weird, that happened. So you continue through these testing chambers, and you finally make it up to GLaDOS realizes who Cave Johnson is and who. So she starts becoming a little bit more friendly to you, like very.
Why? I don't like that. I
It,
fucking hate her.
she becomes more likable
Wow.
No,
as
I don't
a.
wanna be friends with her. Fuck her.
She becomes more likable as a spud on the end of your gun. So
Gonna fucking eat the shit out of her.
just chomping the GLaDOS.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, and she's not gonna like it.
But there's also a legit reason, well, a couple reasons she's being nice. One, she has a conscience now. Two, well, actually 3 reasons. 2, I'm not gonna say right now. 3, potato batteries only generate 1.5 volts of electricity. She tells you right off that she literally does not have the energy to lie to you because she can only have the
Oh,
output of 1.6 volts.
that's
1.5
nice.
volts. She gets an extra half a volt for being on the edge of the portal gun, which is supposedly has magnesium in it, so she's getting an extra voltage out of that.
Okay.
There's actually a clever quote in the beginning of the game that the announcer says, "The constructs that are here are built to run on 1.5 volts." So it like hints that like she can run off a potato battery, as big and powerful as GLaDOS is. She can run off a potato battery.
So yeah, so we finally learn the history of Aperture, and GLaDOS and all of this stuff. But while we're doing that, we've got some new mechanics in Old Aperture. We have gels. There are 3 different gels.
Like gel packs on Voyager.
Like, no, they look like kind of like ooze or slime.
Yeah, that's how the gel packs look, but they're like encased so they can help the ship.
Okay, sure. Well, these ones just kind of like come out of like tubes.
Well, that's what a broken gel pack would look like.
Pipes.
Not pipes.
Laura, this is not Voyager. God damn it.
We should make a Voyager podcast.
Well, that's maybe, but that's not this one.
Oh my god, I'd be so happy. Okay, keep going.
So there's 3 different gels. There's blue, orange, and gray. Blue gel is the
Repulsion gel.
repulsion gel. So, or like I like to call it the blue boingy.
Oh.
So, and you can spread these gels around with your portals, because like it'll come from a source and you put a portal under the bottom of the source and it'll come out somewhere, so you can coat like entire areas with this stuff.
Yeah.
It's basically useful paint.
Yeah. The orange gel is propulsion gel and the gray one is
Conversion gel.
conversion gel. So blue makes you bounce. It's bouncy gel. So you jump on the blue and then you bounce.
It's like
Right?
flubber.
Just like flubber. Also though, there are sometimes if you get a cube that gets covered in the blue gel, it will bounce all the fuck around and it's hard to catch.
Like
The
flubber.
orange is like when you walk on it, like you go fast. It like accelerates you.
I love that. I like to go fast in the game.
Yeah, there's some puzzles where you can paint it with orange and put a portal in the wall and then up higher somewhere and you go really fast and it shoots you like really far.
Ooh, I like that.
Or sometimes like there's one puzzle I think in co-op mode where there a cube drops but you can't get to it unless you put the orange gel so that when it drops it slides down.
Ew, I don't know why that's gross, but that seems gross.
And then the gray, the conversion gel, which is made out of the $70 million of moon dust that he bought, is any surface that gets covered in the gel becomes a portable surface.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can. Some puzzles require you to cover surfaces so that you can put portals on them, because otherwise you couldn't.
And that's why some walls are not portable in Aperture.
So yeah, the addition of the gels it's really fun. It's a really interesting mechanic to be able to spread them around, and sometimes you need to use all three, and it's really cool. So eventually you get back up to New Aperture, right? You've got all this knowledge now of what's going on. And you get back up, and Wheatley is trying. He has combined the cubes and the turrets into like these little walking cube things, and he's trying to make them run the test. Because as it turns out, part of the programming that GLaDOS had was this compulsion to test. Like, you wanted to test. So you get back up there, and he's like, "Oh, great! Now you can do the tests." And you come to find out that there's a source of euphoria when a test is completed, right? But you build up a tolerance to it. Now, GLaDOS mentions, like, yeah, I can work through it, but this idiot doesn't have the capacity to do that. So he keeps trying to, he's like, "Oh, I'll just let you run through the same test multiple times." I'm like, "Oh," and each time he's like, "Well, that didn't do it. I gotta make, more complicated tests to get this euphoric feeling."
He needs help.
He really
See,
does.
you all act like he's a big villain, and really,
I have
he
forgiven
just needs
Wheatley.
someone to
I
save him.
personally, like, yeah,
Wait, you did or didn't?
I did. I do feel bad
Oh,
for him,
okay.
but
Okay, good.
So, but there's one last mechanic that gets introduced at this point. It is the
excursion funnel.
what is excursion funnel. So like it's just like looks like a little spiral light tube,
Yeah,
Okay.
and you jump into it, and it like moves you
but only in one
Okay.
direction.
only one direction. Well, just like the light bridge, you can put a portal at the end of the funnel and have it go elsewhere. So you can like use it to go through one wall here and end up going through another wall here, or change directions and go from horizontal and then vertical. And then of course you can drop cubes into it and have cubes go. So like they really upped the mechanics in this game compared to the last one.
And there's
Like
a reason for that, because the game is so much longer. If you dealt with the same mechanics from the first game, even through half of the length of this game, it would get boring.
Yeah.
So they have to have something to keep the game going. They introduce something new every once in a while to make it interesting, to keep making it interesting over the several hours that the average person is going to take to solve or to play the whole game.
hmm
And they're paced wonderfully.
Oh,
Oh.
now, so you're running through Wheatley's test now, but Wheatley isn't a smart guy. So all of his like rooms are like half done, like there's no floors, and like he's just like smashing things into other things to make these tests.
What? My big dummy can't
And
figure
the
out
thing
how
is,
to
he's
make
Yeah.
a
not
puzzle.
even making the test. He's taking parts of tests that GLaDOS had made, and throwing them together to hopefully make a test out of it. In fact, GLaDOS makes a comment once, like, "These are my tests now, so they can kill us."
Oh. Well, maybe GLaDOS shouldn't be such a fucking bitch, and then this wouldn't have been a problem. I'm just saying.
There's something poetic that I still find great about this game to this day. GLaDOS is with you in these test chambers, so she's running through her own tests and suffering through them with you.
Good. She should be.
So you go through the tests, and Wheatley is on these screens now, and he's trying to like encourage / taunt you, but
Why is he taunting us?
uh, because he thinks that's gonna like motivate you to test better or
Oh,
He's
something.
trying everything
okay.
in his power to make testing go better because he's all in it for the euphoria of testing. Meanwhile, GLaDOS is only in it for science, so she didn't really care about the euphoria effect. But he's only in it to feel good at the end of every test. So he starts insulting you like, "Oh, fatty, no parents, adopted."
No, I don't like that.
But then GLaDOS is the one that defends you. She's like, "What's wrong with being adopted?" And she's not fat. Look at her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about that,
That
Laura?
pisses me off.
So eventually you do the test, and then you like are able to get away, and you're on the run from Wheatley now.
What do you mean get away? We're
And
out of the building?
Back wall, back
no,
area.
get away.
Okay.
Yeah, in the back area again. And you go along, and Gladys is like, I don't know, like I think this is the part where he kills you, where he kills us. And then we get to this platform. This is where we finally get to where Wheatley is, and it's all with these like mashers, these like plates with spikes on it. And it says chapter 9, the part where he kills you. But you can portal away and escape, or not, and go back, and you get a lot of very funny dialogue where he's trying to convince you to just jump in the pit instead. um it's listeners, there are videos out there. Go find, like, listen to this dialogue. It is worth it. Or if you're playing, don't leave, go back and see what he says. That's one thing about this game is like, don't be in such a hurry. Just let 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 the robots talk to you, because the dialogue is great. So eventually you get to the end where now the idea is like, okay, we're gonna put GLaDOS back and take Wheatley away. Well, he doesn't want you to do that.
I don't want that either.
So now you're in the boss fight where he's dropping bombs. Like, so when GLaDOS shot rockets, he drops bombs on you, and so you have to like use same
You
idea.
love
Use the
bombing
portals
us.
to like have the bombs drop on him,
No.
and then oh yeah, GLaDOS is getting other cores, right? So once he's stunned by the bombs, you grab another core and you put it
It's
on him
essentially
to try and like.
sorry, it's essentially the opposite of the first game where you're taking cores off of GLaDOS, putting them back on the Wheatley to corrupt him.
I like that. Wait, to corrupt him? Why are we corrupting him?
You corrupt him to trigger a swap, essentially.
Oh, I'm trying to save him, you mean?
But then he puts up like shields, and so you gotta like. Anyway, these different all these cores have different personalities, just like the first game. There's one who's just like this brash adventurer guy who is very misogynistic. There's one who's just talks about space all the time. What's the third one?
The facts sphere. That said a bunch of
Oh,
so it's funny with his dialogue, they mix in bullshit facts. So like he'll say things like, "Oh, the first person who discovered you can drink milk from cows was very, very thirsty."
I mean, that's fair.
so yeah, and then once you get all the 3 cores on him, then he gets corrupted, and then you can trigger the core swap thing again.
I don't think we should put GLaDOS back on. I think this is a bad idea.
This gets hazy, Janeil. It's getting a little hazy as to how this works.
So the reason why there's only 3 cores on Wheatley instead of 4 in this game, because in the first game you had the morality core, you had the cake core, you had the curiosity core, and you had the like anger core. But you're only putting 3 on Wheatley this time. You're putting the space sphere, Rick the adventure sphere, and the fact sphere on him. Because Wheatley is already a corrupted core. So he, like basically when you put the first core on him, it says the corruption's at 50% already, since he's already
Oh.
a corrupted, personality core. But when you trigger that stalemate again, because obviously Wheatley doesn't agree to you replacing him, you go to the stalemate resolution button again that Wheatley has brutally booby-trapped with bombs, so it wipes Chell out, essentially, basically knocks her on her back. And you want me to explain the ending of this game? See-
No, okay. So you're like down, and he's like, yeah, this is it. You're done. And you can see at this point, like there's a hole in the ceiling, and you can see outside. You can see the moon. And he's like, yeah, take one last look at your precious moon. And at this point, you can't do you can't really move. You're on the ground. Like, it's obviously you're hurt, right? So you can't really move. I'm like, you can only look up and down. And I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And then I see the moon. I'm like, hold up. Cave made the conversion gel out of moon dust. Is this game gonna make me do what I think it's gonna make me do? Yes. You shoot a portal onto the moon.
Oh my god.
And then there's one on the ground because that's the only way you could have escaped the button room, whatever. So it starts like sucking everything up into the portal because of the pressure difference.
That's amazing.
And
though.
so everything gets sucked up out to the moon. So like you're holding on to Wheatley, right? Like, and you're being sucked up, and he's like, hold on, what and then he breaks off. He comes off. He goes flying out into space, and you're about to do the same, but then GLaDOS comes and saves you
Mm.
and pulls you back down.
Mm.
And
Did she save Wheatley?
no.
You fucking kidding me?
So then the screen goes black, and then she's there, and she's like, basically, she's like, okay, fine, you win. Like, I'm not gonna be able to beat you. Just fucking leave. Get out of my face. I don't want to deal with you anymore.
She does say one thing when she brings you back. First thing she says is, "Oh, thank God you're all right." Like, she's genuinely relieved that you're okay. And so she basically says to you, like, "Oh, Carolyn taught me to be empathetic and kind, and and then she basically says, "I don't like that," and she deletes Carolyn.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so Carolyn is essentially her her consciousness. Um,
I was about to forgive the bitch.
So, Janeil, what else is Carolyn?
oh, you want me to do the whole like Lorth shit now?
Nope. What else? So, if Carolyn is GLaDOS' conscience, but what else is Carolyn?
It is heavily hinted at. Basically, it can't be anything else. She's Shell's mother.
No. No.
The hints that led up to that, the first one, like the introduction of Carolyn being GLaDOS. I mean, she's a tall woman with dark hair, not dissimilar from Chell, but in that portrait of Carolyn and Cave Johnson being together, they look like they had a closer relationship than just a boss and employee. They apparently got a little too close, and the common theory is that Carolyn had Chell. But to not have that reflect negatively on their relationship at work, Carolyn made a decision to put Chell up for adoption. So it's a theory that Chell was adopted by somebody who at Aperture, and the reason why that theory persists is because in that area where the potato batteries were, bring your daughter to work day was a thing. The last board in there says made by Chell. So she was a little girl during one of the bring your daughter to work days, mentioning her father worked at the facility. But it didn't mention Cave Johnson being her father. Basically, it mentioned Mr. Johnson might be unhappy if I do something. So she was adopted by some male employee that worked for the facility. And obviously she was a little girl back then, but how did she become an adult and be a test subject in the facility? So there's a theory that when GLaDOS woke up for the first time, she killed the scientist with neurotoxin. Chell went looking for her father that went missing. And she knew the last place anyone heard of him was at Aperture. So she volunteered to be a test subject at the facility. And she was tested. She was put through a round of tests, and then they failed her. Basically said she was too stubborn. She was too persistent. She wouldn't give up ever. So they basically knocked her off the list. But we'll go back to the Ratman comic later because it mentions something that basically brought her back into the facility, into the testing list, essentially. So that's why she was there at the facility, that she basically volunteered to be there. She wasn't a homeless person. She wasn't a convict, as a lot of theories said that she was. But she was an adopted young girl. So what Gladys was saying, that she was adopted and everything, was reading off her personnel file. That was not a lie. And the fact that GLaDOS mentioned that you're adopted and that's terrible, whispering to her. She's like, maybe regrets putting Chell up for adoption. Maybe she regrets being so selfish and doing such a thing. Back at the end of the game, where she says goodbye, Carolyn, after she deletes her consciousness, the only conscience that she essentially had her whole existence. She says, the easiest solution to a problem is usually the easiest one, and killing you is hard. So she lets you go. But as you're ascending up this time, you are greeted with 4 turrets aimed at your direction. So if killing you is so hard, why didn't she just... Maybe she meant that as killing you being hard as being emotionally hard. But she didn't want to express that. So she essentially deleted Carolyn to save face in front of Chell. Basically saying, yep, I'm back to being dangerous old GLaDOS, you don't want anything to do with me. So she sent her away.
And yeah, so she goes up this elevator and past some turrets, and then there's this one part where there's like a whole bunch of turrets, and they start singing to you. They start singing this song, and then there's the Animal King turret, and then after the song, you rise up and like you exit this door, and you're out in this field. It's a blue sky, and you turn around. There's like this little shack, and so you have made it to the surface. You are out. And right before the game goes to black, your companion cube is spit out the door. That looks like maybe it didn't actually get incinerated after all.
Yeah, so that companion cube that she ejects at the end of the game is not just any companion cube. That is the one you incinerated at the first game, because it's covered in scorch marks, and it looks like the first game's companion cubes. There's a slight design difference between the assets in Portal 2 versus Portal 1, but that cube she ejects at the end was your companion cube that you killed in the first game, that you euthanized in the first game, so she gave it back to you to be your companion as like a final act of kindness for you. But going back to that song is called Cara Mia. It is actually not sung by GLaDOS herself. So GLaDOS is voiced by Ellen McLean. She is a singer, an opera singer, and she sang that song. It's an opera song, and I don't know the exact lyrics because it's Latin. I think it's singing. Italian.
Italian.
Okay, but
You don't know Italian? Okay.
Some of the lyrics mention my girl, my baby, my child, mentioning that she should run away from science. So like if it wasn't already kind of apparent of her relationship to Chell, that pretty much solidified it right there. And just like in the first game, there's an after credits, or like the credits or song during the credits. And this song mentions Carolyn and how she said she was a lot like you. Maybe not quite as heavy. But but like the fact that she even brought that up was interesting. She mentioned Carolyn again, and she says she was a lot like you, but maybe not quite as heavy. And she also mentions that Carolyn is in here too. So she mentions that because she obviously didn't delete Carolyn, she's still her conscience. But she also kind of teased potentially deleting Chell from her memory so she would stop feeling so bad. So like the fact that she's having all these emotions is rough. Because not only did she realize who she was, but like the game strongly indicates that Shell is her daughter. So having this connection and realizing this connection to her, she let her go. The game kind of like on the surface passes it along as like, oh yeah, now you have the cool. She doesn't need any. The fact that she's had plenty of opportunities to kill her after she let her go is so sad. It's like basically she didn't do it. She chose not to. Instead letting her go out into the to live the rest of her life. So yeah, it's a cool little ending to this game that a lot of people don't see that, but like putting all these little clues together, it's like okay, it can be anything. Like it can't be anything but that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how I feel about that.
And then after the credit song, there we get a little end credit scene where Wheatley is just in space, and he's like, "Oh yeah, if I could take it all back, I would."
No.
And then the space core is just kind of like orbiting him. He's like, "Space."
Wait, is he having fun then?
Wheatley's not.
Well, the space
Nah, I think he
Wheatley's
is.
not having.
So we are going to split this into a two-parter because there is so much to cover about this game, and so much of it is angering and needs clarification. And next time we're gonna wrap up the lore of this game that we didn't get to, as well as get into the co-op and the comic too. And obviously,
And all the
and
fixing.
we're gonna fix it right up. And obviously, Janeil's gonna come back for it because this was lovely, and we want her back.
Yay.
Always want her
Um,
back.
if you would like to go and scream at us because we did not fix this game and that's the title of the show, go ahead and do it on Discord. Just use all caps and then we'll know that you're screaming. You can find our Discord in the description of this episode.
And at wefixgames.net.
And that is where you can find all the rest of our socials, including our personal socials, if you want to contact us there. I've been Laura.
I've been Jerica.
I'm Janeil.
And remember, life's too short to play a bad game.
Smooches!
We did it.
Yay.
You didn't catch him, you motherfucker!
I did not catch him.
The game will also sadly not let you.
And today
7
we
to
have
10 days. Oh.
we have a get fuck.
You got it. We're getting there. We're getting a little closer each time. That's what she said.
Fuck, I was doing so well.